2026 could be a huge year for VR, especially with the upcoming release of Valve's new headset, the Steam Frame, and with games like Star Citizen getting full VR support with 6-DoF controls and, dare I say it, maybe even Half-Life 3. And right now, existing games continue to bring us some epic content updates, like Ghost of Tabor's new Splinter Cell DLC, Forefront's latest update adds 2 new vehicles and tons of improvements, and Into the Radius 2 on Quest has just been updated. But in today's video, I wanted to go over 12 new VR games we should all be looking forward to in 2026, starting with Gunman Contracts, which is coming to PCVR and has been delayed, but for all the right reasons, and it now will hopefully launch with at least 2 contracts to get us going for the early access release. If you're not sure what this game is, Gunman Contracts is a fully standalone version of the mods found in Half-Life Alyx, but it's now being taken to the next level and being built from the ground up for PCVR and flat screens with other platforms coming in the future. You play as a professional hitman simply known as the Gunman, and you'll have a large arsenal of weapons at your disposal, featuring pistols, rifles, shotguns, knives, and even a tech bow to take down ruthless criminals in some of the most aggressive and immersive ways possible yet to be seen in VR. And I've said this before, but if the mods are anything to go by, you can expect every kill to feel extremely satisfying with some realistic death animations and real bullet impact physics. Now, I can't believe I'm saying it, but we now have an official release date for Aces of Thunder, and it's coming February 3rd on PCVR and PSVR2, and interestingly, it will also be playable on a flat screen. The devs have said it will have support for physical devices found in flight simulators, and after much debate, the aircraft will be controllable not only with joysticks, but you can also use your physical hands for true 6-DoF controls. There will be 29 highly detailed aircraft from World War I and World War II, and as I've said before, online multiplayer. The historical campaign will recount famous events from the world of airborne combat across various key theatres of war. Additionally, there will be a proving ground, a mission editor, and separate single-player missions are available, allowing you to test various aircraft in a variety of locations, different weather conditions, and combat situations. So there we have it, finally a release date, and I can't wait to play it. Exoshock is a VR game I'm constantly tracking due to it being one of the most intense VR first-person shooters I've ever played, and the developers are constantly working to make this game the best it can be for its full release next year. In Exoshock, you and your team are deployed on contracts to board starships in deep space, to collect intel, extract people of high value, and much more. With its incredible visual style and excellent gun-shake cam, this is one of those games I like to keep tabs on via their Discord, and I'll leave a link to that Discord in this video's description so you can get in there and hopefully get involved with the next alpha test. And if you've already played Exoshock, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Next up, we have Guardians Planetfall, which is VR's answer to Helldivers from the developers of Guardians Frontline. Planetfall is a 4-player PvE co-op shooter with procedural worlds, mechs, and lots of bugs to stomp. Plus, they are bringing the very cool map editor from Guardians, which means the community maps will give us everlasting content. Personally, I think this game looks absolutely awesome, and it's going to be available next year in early access for MetaQuest 3 and PCVR.
Watch out! Run! Orbital cannon incoming.
Now, I've spoken about Remnant Protocol a few times on this channel because I absolutely love space sims. This is a meta-funded title, and they are even a publishing partner, and it's coming to Quest and Steam with early access starting March 12th in 2026. In Remnant Protocol, you'll be part of a rebel alliance called the eponymous Remnant, and you have to take down the oppressive Empire. You'll mostly be in a cockpit engaging in dogfights, but between the missions of the campaign, there will be some strategy elements. You'll be doing research, plan manufacturing, gathering intelligence, recruiting pilots, forging alliances, and then you get to set off as a group to take on the next mission. The developers have said this will be a living, breathing universe filled with shifting alliances with procedurally generated missions combined with a dynamic storyline. Microsoft Flight Simulator is already playable in VR on PCVR, but the VR mode is coming as a free update to PSVR2 in 2026. The lead developer has already confirmed the internal build is working and, in his words, amazing. And right now they are currently polishing the VR mode for the launch. There is over 125 planes screens available. It will be using PSVR2's eye tracking for dynamic foveated rendering, and they are planning to hit at least 60 FPS, meaning right now this game will most likely be reprojected to 120Hz, and it will be using cloud streaming via an additional 8GB install. Now while I do love this game on PCVR, it's a very system demanding game to play, so much like No Man's Sky, I'm really hoping that Flight Simulator just delivers a very smooth VR experience. Next up we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Empire City, which I recently went hands on with and came away massively impressed considering it's in early access. All of the Turtles weapons felt different, especially Michelangelo's nunchucks, which felt really awesome to use in VR, and the graphics for standalone looked great. Selecting your characters via an arcade machine felt really retro, and exploring New York just feels awesome. Plus the voice work was absolutely brilliant, and all of that combined easily puts this in my top 10 VR games for next year, and I'm especially looking forward to playing it in 4-player co-op. If you haven't seen my gameplay already, I'll leave a link to it in this video's description.
Brace yourselves!
Automa VR is coming to all VR platforms including Steam Frame in 2026, and after playing it on Quest earlier this week, I came away majorly impressed, not only with the graphics but the interactions, which seemed unlimited and very realistic. Automa is a Half-Life Alyx inspired dystopian story-driven action adventure, and it's set in a near future where fears of AI misalignment are beginning to come true, and its autonomous forces have already taken over a Southwest Asian city. If you haven't seen my hands-on gameplay, I'll again leave a link to that video in this video's description, and I honestly believe you should take the time to check it out. The combat definitely still needs work, but overall I'm hyped to play more. Falcon Fall is an upcoming tactical shooter built in Unreal Engine 5, and it's aiming to deliver one of the most realistic and immersive combat experiences in VR, and it's inspired by tactical shooters like Ready or Not, Onward, and films like Black Hawk Down. Now obviously this trailer shows very little of the actual game, but according to the devs the missions are being handcrafted, but with procedurally generated stuff combined with dynamic systems that will hopefully make combat operations feel alive and change in real time. According to the team, this isn't going to be just another VR shooter. It's designed to feel alive, unpredictable, and is only coming to PCVR, stating it will have cutting edge visuals, procedural unpredictability, and authentic pacing, and will release in 2026. Next up we have a pretty cool looking game called Extra Dimensional, and it's coming to PCVR in February 2026. You start as a warehouse delivery guy at Megazon, and your name is Max Ventura, when suddenly a dimensional rift rips through your factory and you get sucked into another dimension, to a planet called Erath, and there you will find you are known as the Chosen One. Armed with quantum gloves, which grant you telekinesis powers, as well as magic, you are the only one who can save this new physics playground world from the bad guy currently only known as the Emperor. It all sounds a little bit unoriginal, but it does look fantastic at the same time.
Hey, I'm just a delivery guy.
The Boys is officially coming to VR with Trigger Warning. This is being developed by Arvor, the studio behind the Pixel Rip series, Yuki and The Line. The Boys Trigger Warning is coming to Quest and PSVR2 in 2026 and should be releasing in line with the Season 5 premiere next year. It's rated mature, which is good to know, and will have intense violence, blood and gore, sexual themes, partial nudity, drug references, and strong language, which is everything I would expect from a game made of this series. You play as Lucas Costa, a new character to the series whose family day at Vaultland uncovers a horrific secret that sparks a massacre by the Armstrongs, and the Armstrongs are a washed up deadly soup family. You get rescued by the boys, and Lucas gets injected with an unstable version of Temp V and is thrown into fight against Vault. You'll be guided by Butcher and Mother's Milk, and you have to infiltrate the corporation to get revenge for your family. Gameplay seems to be more of an action stealth adventure, and you can use telekinesis to grab, crush, or hurl your enemies, and apparently you can even rip off their limbs to use as weapons. So overall this does sound pretty epic. And the last game on this list hasn't actually been announced to be getting a VR mode, but I'm 100% certain it will, and that's Resident Evil 9. Set 30 years after Raccoon City's nuclear wipeout, you get to alternate between two protagonists in the dual narrative. Grace Ashcroft, who is a fearful, introverted FBI tech analyst, and when you play as her, you won't have any guns. Instead, you'll have to crouch, hide, and distract zombies with bottles and wield a lighter that seems to draw a crazy wall-crawling monster. Then you get to switch to play as Leon S. Kennedy, which will bring the action of Resident Evil 4 to Resident Evil 9, where you obviously get to use firearms and a melee tomahawk axe, and the entire game can be played in third person if you're on a flat screen, but more importantly, it's fully playable in first person, making me feel the VR mode is inevitable and will probably get announced a few months after the release on February 27th. I hope the VR mode is not only coming to PSVR 2 but also PCVR, so we can future-proof it versus Resident Evil 7's official VR mode that is now locked on old hardware on the original PSVR. Well, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you to anyone who likes and subscribes for more VR content, and I'll see you on the next one.